Good evening and welcome to the Ogden City Council meeting for Tuesday, September 24th, 2013. Let the roll call reflect that all council members are present. And we'll now have Vice Chair Garner lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would everyone please rise and then repeat after me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Garner. Now we'd ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. First on the agenda are 3 items under common consent for the Weber State University Homecoming Royalty.
Chair Blair, I'll make a motion that we adopt these 3 items of common consent.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Vice Chair Garner to adopt the 3 items under common consent with a second from Councilmember Heyer. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes. And we will read these at the event Thursday evening at Weber State when we recognize those individuals. Next is approval of minutes. Minutes of the work session of February 26th, 2013, special meeting of March 12th, 2013, and the joint study session of June 4th, 2013. Councilmember Heyer.
Yes, Chair Blair, I've reviewed those minutes and found them to be accurate to the best of my recollection.
Thank you. Minutes of the work session of June 4th, 2013, the special meeting and work session of June 11th, 2013, the study session of June 18th, 2013, and the study session of July 30th, 2013. Councilmember Van Hoosier.
Chair Blair, I've reviewed these minutes and they are correct.
Thank you. Minutes of the regular meeting and work session of June 18th, 2013, and the work session of July 9th, 2013. Councilmember Wicks.
Thank you, Chair Blair. I reviewed those and found them to be correct.
Thank you. And the minutes of the regular meeting of July 30th, 2013, and the study session of August 20th, 2013. Councilmember Gochner.
I have reviewed those and found them to be accurate and would make a motion to approve all the minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve the minutes from Councilmember Gochner and a second from Councilmember Wicks. This is a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Next is reports from administration, and first is the ski bus interlocal agreement. Here comes Mr. Johnson. Ready.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members of the council. It's a privilege to come and talk to you about our second year of proposed ski service, ski bus service to Snow Basin and Powder Mountain. Last year, as you remember, we were a little late at getting final details put together, and we were able to do that. And it was an amazing success considering how late in the game that we got approval and authorization for the ski service. Last year, we transported in a very short season 23,485 people on the ski bus, which is an amazing amount. It actually exceeded what UTA thought we would do, and exceeded some of the new programs that they've started in recent past in the state. Powder Mountain enjoyed 15,560 of those people on the bus, and Snow Basin enjoyed 7,925. Some of those were employees, and many of those were people who were on their way to ski. I think the the Powder Mountain Road lends itself to a ski bus, especially on snowy days, and it was very, very successful. UTA and Weber County and Ogden City and Snow Basin and Powder Mountain and the CVB got together and started working on putting together another year of ski bus service. And there was good commitment on everyone's part. I think UTA came to the table a lot more quickly than they did in years past, which was a good sign. I think that they know that this is a good thing for UTA along with our citizens. By approving this resolution and authorizing the mayor tonight to sign the interlocal agreement, this is a lot earlier than we did last year, and it'll give us an opportunity, I think, to market the ski bus much better. The resolution requires, authorizes that signature, but in the interlocal agreement, it requires Ogden City to pay $65,000. The county would be paying $70,000, and both Powder Mountain and Snow Basin have some obligation for also paying into the ski bus. UTA is contributing also. Because the county is putting in 70, as we did last year, we're recommending $5,000 also for marketing, which I'll have Sarah come and talk about. Other than this cloud seeding that she will do so we get snow, what other marketing ideas she has to make sure that we can put a lot of people on a ski bus because there'll be snow. So we feel this is a good opportunity. It was budgeted out of the hotel tax when we ran it through the budget, so there's no budget action tonight because it is already budgeted. It is merely a resolution authorizing the mayor to be able to sign the interlocal agreement. I'm going to let Sarah tell you about the marketing piece. That was one of the questions that was in the handout. After she's done, either of us can probably answer any questions you may have about the ski service.
Thank you, Council, for having me here, and I'd just like to reiterate Mark's comments. The ski bus was enormously successful from everyone's point of view last year, and it's been really encouraging as we've gone and, the various methods we have for selling our destination to the ski markets, to leisure travel, as well as to ski groups. We have actually seen over 100% increase in our ski group business booked for this coming season due to having transportation to our mountains. So it's been incredibly beneficial for us in all aspects, as well as obviously the locals taking advantage and being able to ride, and the benefits coming to the resorts for their employees being able to take advantage of that transportation as well. Last year, for the season, even though we did have an incredibly short amount of time in which to get the word out and promote this, I feel like everyone came to the table and made happen whatever we could. We did have printed posters in all of the hotels that have stops nearby, as well as the resorts, letting their guests know. We did a media blitz for the inaugural run and got some pretty good coverage on that. Social media outlets, as paid advertising, as well as all of the partners posting continuously about the fact that what a good alternative it was to take the bus up to the mountains on those great powder days, as well as any other day of the week. We distributed flyers to 13,000 students in the Ogden City School District, as well as hung posters in all of the Weber County schools. We do have an approval from the Weber County School District this year to hand out flyers to their students as well. Ads in the Standard Examiner, Hilltop Times in their online edition, as well as a daily opt-in e-blast that they have 15,000 subscribers for. UTA also provided billboard advertising on a number of their buses. Originally, this was going to be on the ski buses, and we, after talking and determining that it would be better used to be on the other buses around town to let people see that and know that the service was available, they moved them to those buses going around our community. Ogden City placed it in the water bill. Both ski resorts did an e-blast to all of their season pass holders, and this year there will be the opportunity for any of their season pass holders to purchase a season bus pass for $5, furthering increasing that ridership and the benefits of being able to utilize public transportation up to the mountains. Ski Utah helped us out by placing the information, the news release, in their newsletter that goes out to all of their subscribers, which is over 100,000, and sent out an e-blast to their 5th and 6th grade passport holders in Weber and Davis counties. So, and continuous press releases that were issued by the CVB. We got some pretty good coverage, I think, for our first year, especially considering we didn't sign the agreement until November last year. So we're looking forward to all of these methods, as well as incorporating some more marketing up on Weber State's campus. Posters were also placed around our community this last year and will be again in all of our rec centers and our restaurants, coffee shops, all of that, those types of locations as well. I'd be happy to answer any questions for you.
I did forget to mention one thing that we are working on, and that is the number one stop in all the stops was the one at Rainbow Gardens. The King family was incredibly generous in helping us last year. We did do some damage to their lot, and we have repaired that, and I think that's made them very happy. We're still negotiating with them, and one of our responsibilities is, if possible, to be able to secure that stop again. I think it would be probably appropriate maybe to honor the King family because they do a lot in our community. They've done a lot to help with the ski bus. It was far more successful than they had anticipated and actually disrupted their business a little bit last year, which we're working on some answers to help them in the future. So it might be nice to do a mayor council recognition of the King family if that would be okay. One other thing, one of our partners came in, I didn't see him earlier, is Bruce from UTA. You know Bruce very well. I have to give Bruce a lot of credit. He has gone to bat for us with UTA. He's fought for this project, and he's done a wonderful job. We appreciate his partnership. And Sarah has been amazing. All the credit, from at least from I think the county and the city's standpoint, needs to go to Sarah. She's been wonderful. She's been a warrior. She's done a lot of the work, and we really appreciate our partnership with Sarah and the CVB. Questions for us?
Mark, what are some of the comments we received from the hotels for this service? What's their feedback to us?
To be perfectly honest, in the beginning, I don't know if you'll recall, prior to the UT service, there was a tourist transportation program that was being operated by the hotels, and it was front door service, and so this changed things a little bit. But the hotels have all been incredibly supportive, and as you'll see from the contract, actually, we do still have them participating financially in this service, even though their guests, visitors, still pay the same rate as anyone else jumping on the bus. So we hope to be able to change that at some point in the future, but they've seen increase in ridership. The number of runs that we're able to make with this service is increased from when we operated it differently, so the flexibility that their visitors have. You know, we love our big powder days, and so do our visitors, but a lot of times they're worn out a little more quickly, and so they like to come back down and be able to enjoy some of the other things our community has to offer. So to be able to have that flexibility in order to get up on the mountain and come down whenever they want has been greatly accepted. And as I mentioned when I stood up earlier, the group ski business is still a big piece of what we do in the winter with the hotels. So to see the increases in the booked business there and the opportunities that's providing for increased visitation, they're really excited about.
Thank you.
So did you say that the season pass rate would be $5?
Yes, so I don't know if you want.
Bruce?
So part of what we're really focusing on is trying to get the programs similar to the programs in Salt Lake County, which all of the employees and the season pass holders at the resorts there have a bus pass that's actually their season pass, has a chip in it that works on the bus, and it just works for both. As a transition period, as a phasing in of that, which long-term we hope to make part of the program, we thought it would be good to make it very inexpensive for the season pass holders to get that pass, to gradually work into that long-term objective of making that part of what season pass holder buys with their season pass as a bus pass at the same time.
So did we get an additional contribution from the ski resorts in exchange for offering that service?
Yes. So part of the reason of doing it this way this year is we did not have the system in place for that last year. And so to more closely model after the successful operations in Salt Lake, as Bruce said, building that in, we needed to determine what the true level of demand was for those season pass riders. I think that it's fairly obvious that we'll see more of that from Powder Mountain than we will from Snow Basin. And you can see that in the increased level of contribution from Powder Mountain this year, financial contribution from them as well. So as we look at what that true demand is, be able to base our routes and know what service we need to provide to accommodate, it's an opportunity to get through that while we still have UTA offering the contributions they are at the level they are to make that happen.
So we'll be able to track how many season pass holders are using it versus people putting money in the fare box.
Right, and one of the things,
Can you get a $5 pass, anybody? Or is it just season tickets?
just a season
And
pass holder.
employees, I would assume.
Employees are handled a little different.
We haven't worked out the details. Last year, Powder Mountain made that pass free for their employees. Snow Basin charged some. So we expect, or we hope that it would get to the point where it's free to the employees, that's part of what the resorts are investing in.
But that's the resort's decision.
Yeah, well, I mean, even $5 is, I mean, that doesn't even cover our administrative cost, I think.
One of the things we did during the negotiation this year is we started to plan for next year so that at the end of the ski season, when they start selling next year's season passes, that the bus pass becomes part of it, so.
Do we have any concern about if we are offering it for a $5 add-on with the season passes, that we're going to have so many people using it that we end up with problems where we don't have adequate buses for the number of people who will be trying to utilize the service on some of those days? That would be my concern. I've heard feedback from people, you know, and part of the reason why they haven't used it, why they didn't use it last year was, you know, basically, there's not much cost savings other than saving your vehicle from driving up Powder Mountain Road or Snow Basin. So I think with the $5 add-on, you're probably going to get a lot more people using it.
And I think so, and that'll give us a good chance to evaluate. We did talk about that, and I think UT, I mean, there are 9 buses available. So, I mean, there are some alternatives, and I think Bruce even said he'd drive a bus if he needed to, so, right?
Are there any student rates at all? It's just a flat rate for everybody. We're not doing student or elderly over 65 or 55 or any of
They
that.
get cheap season passes.
I know they
and
do,
an
but
additional
I'm saying on
$5
the-
is.
We are working with Weber State. They actually approached us. They have a ski bus program on their own. And so they have some interest in seeing if they can utilize our bus to accomplish their need. And so there's nothing that's been finalized, but we're discussing some things to hopefully work with Weber State so that their students can use the bus, the ski bus.
And Bruce, is the $5 round trip, or is it $5 each way?
So the fare for the ski bus is $450 for each way.
Okay.
So for the season pass holders to pay $5, they're getting a great deal for the season.
Yeah, a real deal.
Yeah, my only fear is, you know, there's been, I think, hesitancy for some people to use it just because the cost savings isn't there, and if you add it to their season pass, I just don't want people to, I want the buses to be full, and I want people to have a good experience, and my fear is if you have so many people trying to use it, that you'll have people.
One of the things that we're doing with the schedule this year is that we're going to have a similar schedule throughout the week. We may have slightly less number of trips on Monday through Thursday, but then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays, we have a number of trips and then the ability to plug in an extra bus.
Okay.
So instead of having trips every half hour, which is kind of what we did last year, on the holidays, we plugged an extra bus in the middle, but that kind of confused some of the passengers because they didn't know when that bus was running and when it wasn't. So by plugging a bus in, we can have one bus go to the transit center, start the route, and then have another bus meet at Rainbow Gardens, and 2 buses together spread that load out so that it still is a good experience for the passengers.
We learned a lot last year. We're going to learn a little more this year, and I think we just keep getting smarter, and the program keeps getting better.
Okay, great.
If there's no further discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adopt proposed resolution 2013-22.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Councilmember Gochner to adopt proposed resolution 2013-22 and a second from Councilmember Wicks. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Gochner.
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Councilmember Van Hoosier.
Aye.
Councilmember Wicks.
Aye.
Vice Chair Gardner.
Aye.
Chair Blair.
Aye. That passes.
Go make some snow.
That's right.
That cloud seeding thing sounded good.
They were skiing in Silverton yesterday on about 8 inches of snow on grassy slopes, so it's not far.
Our CVB people did a great job of making that work last year. Kudos to them.
Next up is the Ogden Nature Center lease agreement. Mayor Brown.
Thank you, members of the council. It's a pleasure to be here before you in the final step of a 3-step process to enter into a new lease agreement with the Ogden Nature Center. As you're aware from the transmittal and some of the memoranda that's part of your packet, there has already been a public hearing that the mayor held at the mayor's administrative review meeting to allow the opportunity for public comment on the lease. And there's also been a work session where some of the sort of economic and non-economic value and benefit of this lease to the city was presented by the Nature Center. So the last step in the process is required under Ogden Code to have the City Council make a legislative determination of whether there are public policy factors to support the lease agreement, which is basically for, there is no monetary consideration for the agreement. It's all based on the value and benefit to the city that is brought by the operation of the Nature Center itself and by the fundraising that is done by the Nature Center organization. So I'd like to have Mary McKinley, just briefly, she has just a couple facts that she wants to present to further develop the record on that. So if it's okay, I'd like to call her up.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you, members of the council. I appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about the Ogden Nature Center. We were incorporated as an organization in 1975, and for the last 38 years have demonstrated excellent stewardship of the property located on 12th Street and also on North Mountain Road. We have invested millions of dollars into the properties, both through habitat restoration efforts, through building state-of-the-art, award-winning green buildings, by establishing ponds, walking trails, and beautiful gardens. We are independently operated, and we have been independently operated since we were formed. And I came across an old newspaper article, the Standard Examiner, in 1974, where the City Council determined that the Ogden Nature Center, should it be formed, would need to operate independently, and we have. Today, we raise over, our budget this year is $587,000. We have net assets of almost $3 million. Over $1,100,000 is in an endowment to, which is essentially a rainy day fund and also to ensure our financial security in the future. Each year we raise over $300,000 through contributions, sponsorships, and donations. We also raise last year, we raised $260,700 just through revenue activities such as our events, through program fees, through our gift shop, and other means. There are 800 members the Nature Center. And many of these members actually represent families and grandparents. So one membership could represent a number of people. In 2012, the community invested itself in the Nature Center through volunteerism. Last year, over 11,100 hours were donated by the community to support operations and the care of the nature preserve. This year, we've already reached over 7,000 hours, so we expect to exceed the 11,000 hours in 2013. And casual visitors, just people who come to walk the trails and take a look around, visit the birds of prey. Last year, we had over 10,000 visitors. We offered programs to an additional 28,000 last year. We expect to exceed that number this year. And thousands more come just for our community events. We offer great recreation opportunities. The Ogden Nature Center on 12th Street, the location on 12th Street, has over 1.5 miles of quiet, lovely walking trails. And the Nature Preserve on North Mountain Road has at least another 1/2 mile to a mile. I'm not sure exactly the distance, and it serves as a trailhead to the Bonneville Shoreline Trail. We offer many different types of education programs, all very geared towards educating about nature, about our natural resources, about the beautiful North Utah area that we live in. And we offer many community events for families, for adults, and we include everybody, so including our at-risk inner city youth. We do all this through many community partnerships. Ogden City is a great partner. Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge, Wasatch Audubon Society, Weber State University, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. Forest Service, Shadow Valley Elementary, Environmental Magnet School, the Utah Society of Environmental Education, the Utah Conservation Corps, and many more organizations, including many of our service clubs, are partner with us to provide this Ogden Nature Center. And we also do offer some economic benefits to the city. The Weber State University often brings prospective professors to the Nature Center so they can see what the city has to offer. Business Depot Ogden brings prospective businesses. Several that we know for sure who have stated that the reason they decided to move to Ogden was because the Ogden Nature Center included quality bicycle products and Scott USA. Other large employers bring their prospects to the Nature Center too. And just this weekend, the city's Economic Development Department brought visiting businessmen from Park City to the Ogden Nature Center. They picked 3 locations in the city that they thought would be of interest to the Park City businessmen, and the Ogden Nature Center was one of them. We're very proud to have been the first nature center in the Intermountain West. We have slowly and carefully grown over 38 years. And we hope you will consider favorably this lease agreement that will ensure that the Ogden Nature Center can continue to operate on this property for the next 50 years. Do you have any questions that I can answer for you?
I just have a comment. I think the Nature Center is an asset to our community. You provide so many services and the quality of life to our citizens, and I appreciate all that you do out there. So,
thank you.
And Mary, your enthusiasm is very contagious, so thanks for everything you do.
Thank you very much.
I think it might, I've never seen so many board members show up for something, so I don't know if we want to have members of the board stand up just so we can acknowledge the effort they made to come.
Past and present.
Yes.
Present?
Aren't you on that?
I'm on the board and Caitlin was on the board too, but that's pretty impressive.
Great support.
Impressive.
And we applaud you for all your efforts, no question. I think we're true believers.
Thank you. Should I sit down now?
Never.
Couple quick comments. I wanted to let you know that the lease agreement itself is a negotiated product. It is a 50-year term with an initial 20 years that then can be extended at the option of the Nature Center for an additional 30. And the terms of the lease agreement were negotiated with Jay Latter and myself were the staff contacts and working with the administration, and then Mary McKinley and her board has reviewed that. So the agreement that we have is a product that is ready to be agreed upon by the administration and the Nature Center. So, and I did want to thank also Mary and her board for just being great to work with and for the support, and also just for the benefit to the community that they provide.
Thanks, Mara.
Do you have any other questions for me? Or?
Thank you.
With that, I move that we adopt Resolution 2013-23.
I second it.
We have a motion from Councilmember Van Hoosier to adopt proposed resolution 2013-23 and a second from Councilmember Stevens. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Heyer.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Councilmember Van Hoosier.
Aye.
Councilmember Wicks.
Aye.
Councilmember Gochner.
Aye.
Vice Chair Garner.
Aye.
Chair Blair.
Aye. That passes. Thank you for all your hard work and for the wonderful asset you are to our community.
I just have to add one comment. You know, the Nature Center's been such a vibrant part of our community, and I just look at all the people that are here that have put their hearts and souls into it, and thank you all for taking the time to come tonight and be a part of it.
Thank you very much. It's very appreciated, the passage of this resolution and the lease agreement. A number of people did come prepared to offer a short comment to let you know from their perspective why the Nature Center is important, and I don't know when it's appropriate to have them.
It's next on the agenda.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
That was a perfect lead-in to our next section, next segment. Next up is public comments. This is an opportunity for you to address the council regarding your concerns or ideas. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Time is now yours.
I'm probably talking to the choir here about the Nature Center, but it's been a favorite place of mine. My name is Bonnie Rembaz, 5725 South, 1075 East, South Ogden. My connection with the Nature Center started about 29 years ago and has been nurtured through the years, first as a teacher. In fact, I was a friend of Joan Dolph, who was one of those who had the vision for the Nature Center. And so I brought my class there, and they loved it, and they, minute they got to first grade, when are we going to the Nature Center? So it was a big deal. And then, when I retired, I became an education volunteer along with my husband, and we did special events, and we also worked in education. And then I had 3 children who gave me 10 grandchildren, so that was another group that came to the Nature Center. And I have to tell you about one in particular who would call the Nature Center his home. That is Hudson, who's been coming to the Nature Center since he was 3. And if we were at the library one day, and he said, "Grandma, this isn't the Nature Center, is it?" I said, "No, it isn't." "Well, when are we going there?" So he loved it, and he seemed to come alive at the Nature Center, and I have no doubt that he will probably have a career someday in outdoor education because of the Nature Center. It is a place where he came alive, he was close to nature, he discovered, and he just was happy. And he would he would find a bug and he would name it Max one day. And he knew he couldn't take Max home because this was Max's habitat, but he would share Max when he was there. So the Nature Center has been around for 38 years, and I am one who is so thankful for those first people who had a vision for that place way back when and worked diligently to make it a reality. A place that we know now will continue to bring young and old together to learn about nature as well as learn lessons from it for many years to come. We are so thankful that this place is there because it does create a place for children to learn that there is much more beyond their own place. There is this place called the Nature Center where they can grow and learn and find out about our environment and how to respect it. So I thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jack Rensel. I live at 1225 32nd Street in Ogden. I've lived there and raised my family there since we moved here in 1958. I thought I'd present a little different point. Last night, in addition to being the oldest member, I think, of the Ogden Nature Center, I'm probably the oldest in the room. But I'm still young at heart, and I still like playing with kids and grandchildren. I got on the phone last night, and I talked to Joan Dolph. Joan was the first director here at the Nature Center, and she travels back and forth. She's been retired for a number of years, but she travels back and forth a couple times a year and always stops and visits the Nature Center. And I wanted to get her perspective. She told me that on December 14, 1973, Bob Hunter, who was the city manager at the time, and Jim Dolph met. Jim was connected with Weber State College. And it was shortly after the land had been given to Ogden City from DDO to use for some public purpose. And Jim and Bob met and decided, along with some other folks' opinions, that it'd be an obvious place and obvious time to develop a nature center. And Ogden City approved it after a short meeting. But she told me that it may have never come to fruition if it hadn't been for the role of the Junior League of Women Voters. And she named 6 of them that said we're particularly interested in, and we're like bulldogs. They stuck with it until they finally got the program going. Anyhow, those 6 women came up with the money to hire her, Joan Dolph, for the school year of 1980 to develop an outdoors-based education program for elementary students and to sell the schools on the concept. And she prepared flyers. She made a lot of personal contacts. She developed a new program for the Ogden Nature Center each month, and was not only the director, but she was also the staff. She told me she had one other person that was hired to assist her with the lands portion of it, and said she had a wonderful but a nervous career, hoping that things would work out and the Nature Center would become a permanent entity. She continues to visit every time she comes through, and she continues to be impressed with it. There have been 5 directors follow her, with Mary being the most recent. And you know, I love Ogden City. I think it's the finest city to live in Utah. Nature Center is part of that. The outdoor ethics part of that. When I came here, I worked for the Division of Wildlife Resources, and we immediately partnered with the Nature Center. All the water features that Mary talked about were actually developed in a coordinated agreement between the Division of Wildlife Resources and the Nature Center itself. And we were able to do that by putting a waterfowl crew that worked statewide, but in the winter, the work slowed down, working on the waterfowl management areas. So they were familiar with the use of heavy equipment, and the director agreed, and over a period of about 8 or 9 years, each of these ponds out here were developed by 3 of our waterfowl maintenance people, one a truck driver and 2 heavy equipment operators. And we did it on the basis that they'd be developed to the Nature Center standards, and the division would benefit by taking the gravel that was removed, stockpiling it, and then using it on waterfowl management area dikes during the following summer. They paid all the costs on that, so it was a bonus to the Nature Center. There are a lot of other projects that are very similar to that I participated in, along with the Division of Wildlife Resources. The Audubon, or the Wasatch Audubon Council Society has also been a partner out here and helped in numerous ways with plantings and programs, leading trips, etc. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you a big thank you for considering this proposal tonight affirmatively. And I want to thank you for providing a city that I continue to enjoy living in.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Paul Burnett. I live at 5279 South, 150 East in Washington Terrace. Thank you, Council, for letting me speak. I want to speak in support of the Ogden Nature Center. I'm the past chair on the board of directors, meaning that I was the chair last year in 2012. I'm also on staff with an organization called Trout Unlimited. We're a cold water fish conservation organization. Ever since the Ogden Nature Center came into existence over 35 years ago, we strongly believed that the nature preserve was essential for us to be successful as an organization. Over that time, dedicated staff, volunteers have made the Ogden Nature Center into a valuable community institution, which serves children and adults in Ogden and beyond. So thank you very much for renewing the agreement, and thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm John Neal. I live at 1052 Roosevelt Avenue in Salt Lake City, but I grew up in Ogden. And one of my earliest and fondest memories of the Ogden Nature Center is my brother and me dangling off a short zip line outside the old farmhouse. I think I was 12 years old, but I remember it well because it was my first brush with fame. A photographer from the Ogden Standard Examiner happened to be there as well, and he took a photo of us on the zip line. It was in the paper the next day, and we were elated. I also remember being a junior naturalist and learning about plants and animals. I remember planting and caring for a garden. I remember making crafts out of dried thistles and popsicle sticks. And I remember the fascination I felt with the animals the Ogden Nature Center housed and cared for. I'm fortunate that my parents introduced me to the Ogden Nature Center back then. Not only did I learn about giving back to the community through their long-term involvement with Nature Center leadership, but I learned about the many interrelationships among people and nature. The principles the Nature Center taught me back then are still taught today. In my mind, the Ogden Nature Center is the premier nature center in the state of Utah. Founded in 1975, it is the oldest in the state and impacts the lives of 27,000 students each year. Ogden City is marketing itself as the outdoor capital of the state, and as it should. Ogden is nestled right against the Wasatch Mountains and an elaborate and growing network of trails and paths for the community to enjoy. We have world-class skiing just minutes from town. Xterra races compete here and marathons are run. To the west, we have the Great Salt Lake, where bird watchers from around the world visit and catch a glimpse of the millions of birds that migrate through the valley every year. The Ogden Nature Center fits into this mold nicely. A patch of nature and recreation opportunity in an increasingly urban landscape. And at the Ogden Nature Center, kids and adults alike can learn about water skeeters on Arrowhead Pond. They can learn about flowers and how they're pollinated. They can learn about bees and peer into an active hive through a piece of plexiglass. And they can learn about seed dispersal, whether by burrs that stick to your shoelaces or by seeds that float on air. The Ogden Nature Center has been an inspiration to me ever since I was a child. The Nature Center has shaped my life and contributed to my love of the outdoors. It probably even guided me into my current career as a wildlife biologist. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak on behalf of the Ogden Nature Center. My name is Lily Bosworth, and I am a junior at St. Joseph Catholic High School. I have been going to the Nature Center since I was a toddler. One time when I was about 5, my mom took me to Tadpole Pond with one of my friends. We got big nets, and laying on the boardwalk that surrounds the pond, we peered underneath it to search for frogs. After a game of watching and waiting, we spotted a big green frog on the mud under the boardwalk, but were unable to catch it. Every time I visit Tadpole Pond, I am sure to check for frogs. This and many other experiences I've had at the Nature Center have inspired me to be curious about our natural world. Currently, I am studying AP Biology as one of my favorite classes at school, and this past summer, I attended an environmental science program at Stanford University. I believe the many other children who visit the Nature Center are sure to be inspired as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is a very tough act to follow. My name is Sam Zeveloff. I live at 2870 Wheelock Avenue, right near Amy Wicks.
I can throw rocks at his house from my house.
In Ogden, Utah. And I've been a professor of zoology at Weber State for almost 30 years. My wife is a recently retired first grade teacher from the Ogden City School System, so we and our children have all benefited enormously from the Ogden Nature Center. I think I just have a few comments in addition to those that have been made that might be useful. What Mary said about this being a very valuable place to bring faculty that we're trying to recruit is absolutely true. Many of the members of the zoology department, as well as the botany departments at Weber State, have been active board members and active participants in research and in teaching activities that go on at the Ogden Nature Center. So we're very grateful for the fantastic job that Mary and her staff and the board members at the Ogden Nature Center do for the community. I'd like to read you some comments that my dean, Dr. David Maddy, the dean of the College of Science, provided for me for this meeting. Dr. Maddy said, "I strongly support the Ogden Nature Center and its activities. He wants me to offer his apologies to the council for not being able to be here tonight, but he wanted to say that the Ogden Nature Center often helps to start off young people on their path to careers in STEM fields, and that's an acronym we use for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And given the positive impact of STEM on our local, regional, and national economies, I perceive that the commitment made to the Ogden Nature Center by the approval of the 50-year lease by Ogden City will ultimately produce a huge positive return to our community over the lease period and beyond." And I say that with the understanding and the recognition that the state of Utah's legislature will be considering the the funding for the new College of Science building at Weber State this year. That is, as you may have seen, the number one building commitment, or the number one building opportunity that the state is considering this year. So when I think of the Nature Center, and I understand the impact that it has on our very young people and on our K through 12 students, with the possibility that we will be training them to enter this, hopefully, new facility at Weber State. It just seems like such a great match between the city's efforts and the state's efforts. So I wanted to mention that. The other thing I'd like to say, and it's the last thing, is that there was a very am I done? Yeah. Okay, great issue of The Economist that came out last week, in which it talks about how fortunate we are in industrialized societies and in societies that have strong economic systems to be able to support nature. So I think we're fitting right in with international trends. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I have one more.
One more.
Good evening. My name is Ben Velasquez, excuse me, and I live at 1524 Beverly Drive. And I listen to all these people and I think, boy, I'm really new to this city. But I am on the board, and one of the reasons a couple of reasons I joined the board was because of all the services that it provides to the kids and to the adults even, and it really provides a lot of fun. So fun is what I think I enjoy the most there, the concerts and the kids running around. So that's one of the big reasons. It's been around for a long time, and I think with this agreement, it will be here for a long time in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
One quick one on behalf of my boys. My name is Kim Bouchard, 2680 Foothill Drive. And I told my boys I was going to come down here tonight and speak on behalf of the Ogden Nature Center. And I said, so tell me what you think. And they're like, what do you mean? We were all educated there. Like, is there a problem? And I said, no. I said, I think it's going to be renewed. And I said, well, what do you think now? He's like, they said, it makes Ogden cool, which I totally agree. Great minds think alike. And more than anything, I just think all these things that you guys have seeded over the years, some of you are going on the council, off the council, some of you have been on forever, new to leadership. It's like, as I'm over the 45 mark now, and I look back at all these seeds that have been planted, I think about, and now we can see the fruits of the things that we've all helped to start and all these people. And I think of those, just the vision of those people, and I just think how lucky we are, and I just think all these things that come before you as we go, just never underestimate what an impact it's going to make. I mean, it's just crazy. So I'll keep that short and sweet, but I support the Ogden Nature Center because it makes Ogden cool.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
And off she goes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you all for your comments. Okay. Next up is comments from the mayor.
I would have grabbed Kim and thanked her for her involvement in Harvest Moon and Xterra before she darted out the door. But what an awesome agenda for a city council meeting tonight. To approve the ski bus and to have the board members from the Ogden Nature Center here. Those are two phenomenally unique events and activities in our community. I'll add my voice to the chorus of those thanking you for all your volunteer efforts. If you didn't have a chance to get downtown over the weekend, you missed an enormously unique event. Unique to Ogden, to have the Xterra group come through and all those pro athletes come and inspire everyone, and some of these great landscapes that we've got, and then to see 15,000 people come downtown onto historic 25th Street and enjoy a phenomenal fall day. It was an enormously unique thing that I think represents Ogden very well. So I really want to thank everybody that was involved and participated in putting that together. And it all happens with volunteers. It's such a critical part of our community. I got a link just today that we were rated by some organization as the second most generous city in the United States. And part of the measurement for that is volunteer hours committed by each person involved in that. And I think that's a great representation of the people we live around and call neighbors and friends here. So thank you all for being here. These are great. If we could work on real positive agenda items every council meeting, I think we'd all appreciate that a little bit. That won't always be the case, so we'll take them when we get them. But thank you, everybody, for your involvement. It's been a phenomenal organization and event, and I'd certainly like to thank Sarah Tolliver as well, and the county commissioners, and Bruce, who just snuck out for the ski bus contributions as well. These are two very unique things in our community.
Thank you. And comments from other council members?
I have a couple, if it's okay. You're bringing back names for me that I remember because I was a teacher in Ogden City Schools too, and I worked with Joan Dolph, and I can remember working on the ponds and working out there. But one of the funniest stories of all, I think, stemming from the 80s when we had Dolly the deer. And at that time, all the teachers had to drive, we had to get parents to drive the children out to the nature center because there were no buses to take them. And the kids were so excited because they were leaving, but Dolly kept following our particular group. And the next thing I know, Dolly is in the back seat of my car. And we're trying to figure out how to coax the deer, out of the car. And of course, it was a shame that she was eventually hit by a car and killed, but it was such an exciting time for the children. And it was one of those things that, like you, I'm sure we went every single month and did from the snowshoeing to everything you could imagine. And then my Boy Scout, Eagle Scout projects were done there. And the name of Joan Dolph, it's very endearing because I know the time and effort she and her husband put in this, and it wouldn't exist without them. And thank you for your efforts, too.
I want to second the mayor's comments for the Harvest Moon Festival. What a great opportunity for the citizens of Ogden, and I enjoyed the criterium races, and we had several community events that were held that day, too, that were well attended. And thank you all from the Nature Center for being here. And one other opportunity I had during the week is I was able to attend the Ogden Rescue Mission's 25-year anniversary here in Ogden. And what a great group of individuals, Ruth Brockman and Richard White, who do a wonderful job there and provide that service for our community also. So thank you.
I'd like to follow up with what the mayor said. I heard about Ogden being the most generous or the second most generous, and that's great. That reflects the type of citizens we have. But tonight, I think we've heard several key words: urban landscape, service, and volunteer, and education. I think those words are the foundation of the Nature Center. And it takes all of us to make a community, and you're part of our community, and we're proud to have you part of this community that we live in. And Ogden's a great place to live because of the efforts that you have put forward to add to our lives, and I appreciate that.
I think probably everything's been said that could be said about the Nature Center, but Mr. Rensel, when you got up and talked about those 6 women that had the vision to, make this happen, I'm pretty sure, I don't know the names, but I'm pretty sure one of them was on the back row and left early. But are any of the others here? Not tonight. Well, Sandy Crosby left early, but I know that she's had vision on so many fronts in our community, and again, thank you.
I have something. The Nature Center and I were born within a couple months of each other, and I just think of all the time and all of the years that people have been devoting their lives to help promote outdoor education and having a place for people to go in an urban setting, and all of the children that have passed through the gates of the Nature Center who have an appreciation for the outdoors, and just want to express my appreciation for all the people who have been working so hard over what amounts to my lifetime to do all of the good work that's done at the Nature Center.
I have one sad comment that I think most of you know, the passing of Bob DeBoer, who was a valued citizen in Ogden. He was on the city council. He was I guess, vice president of Weber State and worked with the presidents of Weber State for 5 different presidents at Weber State. And he'll be sorely missed, and his community efforts are just countless.
There's no further discussion. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn from Councilmember Gochner and a second from Vice Chair Garner. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we will have a redevelopment agency special meeting.
Feel free to stay.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.